Hi, my name is Todd Nettleton. I'm the host of Voice of the Martyrs Radio, and I'm here with Scott Poe. He's the director of Voice Ministries at the Voice of the Martyrs. And we want to say a huge thank you for your willingness to consider becoming a VOM Voice volunteer and helping us to share the stories of our persecuted family around the world with Christians right in your sphere of influence, right in your city, in your neighborhood. You know, stories are powerful things, aren't they? One of my favorite stories in the Old Testament is the story of David after he had sinned with Bathsheba and God sent the prophet Nathan to go and confront him. But if you remember that story, Nathan didn't go in with guns blazing and kind of scream and shout, and David, you're a horrible sinner. You remember what he did? He told David the story of a man and his sheep. And at the end of the story, David was so impacted and so moved that he stood up and said, that man must be punished. And then Nathan said, David, you are that man. The power of story to bypass somebody's intellect and go straight to their heart and grab a hold of their soul and their spirit. That's something that we celebrate. And Jesus did the same thing. He told the stories to illustrate spiritual truths. Somebody else used that storytelling method. His name was Richard Wurmbrand. He's the founder of the Voice of the Martyrs. When he came to the West, he spoke in churches and he spoke in the media and he told the story of his time in prison in Romania. He told the story of God's faithfulness that reached even inside a torture chamber. And he told stories as well of the pastors and the Christians who were still in those prisons. And when he talked about those people like you and me, Christians who were moved by those stories, said, hey, how do we help those people? That's really how the Voice of the Martyrs was founded, was to be a connection point between the church here in the United States and the church in hostile and restricted nations, our brothers and sisters that are suffering for the name of Christ. We want you as a VOM Voice volunteer to help us tell those stories. We want to inspire you to tell stories, tell how that story impacted you, because we want to inspire the American church with the faithfulness of our brothers and sisters who are suffering for Christ, and more importantly, the faithfulness of God to work and be present and bless, even in the midst of persecution, even in the midst of suffering and hardship. So we are so pleased that you want to be a part of this, and we want to encourage you and equip you and coach you to do a great job sharing the stories of our persecuted brothers and sisters and inspiring the American church into fellowship with them.